Hello guys, welcome back to another Lumley trading video. In this one we're going to be going through our day trading recap for September 11th, 2024. So to get straight into it, we'll go over to the Discord because this is where we're always posting it live. So we just had, or you kind of just posted at 8:40, so CPI had just been released at 8:30. Again, just noting these golden pocket zones, a lot of times where you're going to get a nice pullback. Again, we don't really cover these too much anymore because it is just the same thing. Any big news, PPI, CPI, anything where you get a big strong move, normally if you come and get this retest, again you can have tight risk, you look to get short in that range. Again, have a stop maybe above the next fib and then look for some downside moves. Or again, you can just look for some scalps. We get this time and time again, and then this will provide you normally a new trade when we open. Doesn't matter if you open above or below. Normally the first touch into the golden pocket zone will normally be quite nice, but we'll go through that on the live chart so you can see it. But let's go through the actual analysis and bias for the day. 9-11, we said over and under levels for today. And again, the simplest way you can look at these over under levels, if you're above the over level, you are bullish. If you're below it, you are bearish. So we're only looking to take shorts under this level, longs over this level. So if we are above, and again, these are QQQ levels, 459.02, I am bullish. If we are under 455.74, you are bearish. And you can also attempt to trade between the range. So again, this is kind of a range provided. What this is the news high and low. Once you break into the range of news, you can kind of, if you get a retest, look for a nice short down to the bottom. But again, we'll go through this on a chart. We went through the exact same thing on SPY, bullish above 548.58 and bearish below 545.53. And again, the exact same thing. If you're going between the ranges, you can look to trade to the other one. And again, if you wanted the future levels, they're on the exact same chart. So there and there for S&P, and there for the NQs. So that will be the main thing. And again, just kind of to note, normally we trade ranges. So there is ranges to fill on this day, but again, the main bias is always going to be on these over under levels because CPI is going to be stronger than a range. So we tend to use that. So again, we have ranges here on SPY. So we do expect it to still get filled, but again, it's not our main bias for the day by any means like it normally is. Same thing with Qs, that's your range. So you do expect it to fill, but again, it's not going to be our main play for the day. So we'll come onto the charts now. We can start running through everything. So QQQs, this was the cleaner trade of them all. So again, looking at yesterday or kind of pre-market today, you create a lot of downside gaps. Again, these are always going to be part of confluence. We expect these to come and get filled on a day. But again, how do we know that these are going to get filled? So again, we're looking at news. On the right, we have the futures. On the left, we have the ETF. Again, we have the news high and low fibbed out here. That's all this fib is. Bottom of the and top of the news data move. And what do we look for? This is our over under level 459.02 as we posted in the Discord. If you're above it, you're bullish. If you're below it, you're bearish. But again, we don't just blindly buy. We wait until the open. We kind of see what it does. In this case, we snap below, and what do? We come and retest this level twice, providing two great short opportunities to grab this short. Not only are we testing this 459.02, you're also holding the 50 line on the RSI, and you've just dropped below the 0 line on the MACD. Everything is lining up for a short. This is a really high probability short that we can continue to take to the downside. And again, what's our target then going to be to the downside? We're always going to look to do some adjustments around this 50 line. Again, that golden pocket that we talk about. And again, if you wanted the bounce, the golden pocket there did provide a nice bounce scalp opportunity as well. But again, that's where we lock in some profits, definitely move stops, and then we try and target down to the news low, which in this case is the 100 line, which is 455.74, the other level we provided. Now, this is where we get out of the position. And then for a re-entry of this position, what do we want? We want to see that we hold this level, which is kind of a breakdown here. You come into the news fib extension. Then normally you're going to get a bounce off these, which you did here. Again, scalp moves time and time again. You break below, you come back, you retest. This can be a nice short opportunity because we're below our bearish level. We're getting a retest confirmation. This is going to signal that we're going lower. Again, we go through this day after day. It's the exact same thing every day. You provided a nice about 2-point drop off that entry. Now, if we kind of continue to go across, we can see we start breaking above, we kind of break back above this fib level, we retest it as a support, we hold. Where do we come into? Our 0 or 100 line. Again, this is now our kind of bullish bearish level, our over under. So if we start breaking back above it, you're going to come into that golden pocket again, provided our nice short, and then you come and test it as a retest. And what if we can hold this level? We are bullish, so we can now trade it back to the upside of the fib, which is here. That's your target. We are now out. And then if we want to get some new longs, how we do it? We wait for a move away, we come in, we retest like we did here, and now we're getting these moves higher. So not being the cleanest move to the upside, it did about a point and a half. So again, should have made profits because that is about a 60-point move over on the futures, which is obviously pretty big. But overall, it is literally just simply using these levels and then the extensions to give you retests and confirmations. Pretty easy. And again, if you want scalps, you can use these golden pocket levels for some scalp opportunities. But overall, just using that as an over-under should give you a really good trading edge today. And yeah, should have played out nice. Again, just looking on futures, basically the exact same thing. We don't really need to cover that. Now we'll go over to SPY. Again, we talked about the same sort of levels. Again, news fib here. You push up. Again, we're opening around here. We're not waiting for a directional sense. We don't just blindly buy because it's over the level or below the level. We wait for some confirmation, which wasn't as clean on the SPY. Again, if you look at the QQQs, it provided us a nice entry because we broke below it. We came back, we retested it. That was a really nice swing, or kind of a day trade short, because we had our confirmation to short. We didn't get that on the SPY, so I didn't trade the SPY. Because again, this is our over-under level. We got no retest of this level. If you wanted a later retest, we could have got in, and that was on the retest of the golden pocket. So that would have been our re-entry short if you wanted to do that, but really there just wasn't as big of a move. The QQQs we were already in, and it kind of provided a bigger move because SPY's downside was only about a point from there, point and 10 cents, so nothing crazy from that entry. So again, our main focus was on QQQs, but we start break below. Same thing, you come into your fib extension on the news, provides a nice scalp bounce opportunity. Do we want to trade to the next fib below? Well, what you do is you break below. Again, you're kind of holding it as a resistance. You can consider that a retest. And it goes down. Again, what is happening on all of here? The RSI is holding below the 50 line. The MACD has crossed and is way below the way below the 0 line. Again, all confluences are telling you we are going lower. So great short again. And then what happens? We just basically nosedive straight down until we come to the 261 fib, and again we kind of get another scalp bounce. It's how we use these fibs. These are great for scalps, and again, if you get the confirmation, then they're more trend moves. But the initial bounce, again, you're trying to catch essentially these falling knives. So to me, they're always going to be scalps. The retest confirmation in trend is going to be the actual day trade and the trend trade. Come down here again, you get your scalp, you kind of come down, you retested it. This is where you might have taken a bit more of a loss, but again, you did have confirmations which were now getting weaker. Look what's happening to the MACD. It's flipping from red to green. We have had a MACD cross, which again indicating bullish. You're now trading down at divergence, showing you that you're moving down weaker. So the only thing going down now is price, but all your indicators or your momentum indicators are showing you that you're now bullish. So again, you shouldn't have got faked out. That's why we didn't short that. You've had your confirmation down here not to be short. And okay, we start breaking above. You kind of retest it here. Not something I personally grabbed long. Wasn't enough really confirmations to grab that long. Again, we come back into the fibs. We don't retest or we don't retrade a test already fibbed or traded. Come down again, retested this. Could have provided that on an entry. Kind of retested the 50 on the RSI. Again, not something I personally traded, wasn't a clean enough setup, but again, you did sort of get reasons to start being able to trade it. And then as we go across, again, we come back, break into the news low, and that's the same thing. If you come back, you retest it as a support. That is always going to be normally a nice long opportunity. You've had your MACD cross, it's starting to show bullish indication. We're even breaking to the top side of the fib. And so again, really, maybe not even enter right there. I would be waiting for kind of that RSI to kind of retest, which is actually on this candle low. So again, basically, that would have been a clean entry. You have confirmation on the RSI, confirmation on price. MACD wasn't the cleanest, so if you wanted an A-star setup, probably wouldn't have been the one to take, but you still have more confirmations that you're going up than that you're going to continue down. And then again, what's happening? We're pushing up. Again, you provided your golden pocket short. We keep talking about this. Scalp shorts off there. And now we're pushing up. And what's most likely going to happen is you're going to see SPY come all the way back up to 548.58, which is the level we provided before, because again, that is going to be the top of the fib. And then you're going to probably hopefully start to see it magnet towards its 549.19, which is a daily 50 SMA. And why do we think we're going to continue up here? Okay, that fib is completed, so there's no reason for it to actually have to fill, but we are pushing up. We've broken the golden pocket, and we do now have a gap to fill on the year. So again, it's kind of added confidence. We normally have a magnet. We'll try and magnet that. We have a gap around the same area. So kind of just two reasons for Bryce to kind of keep continuing up to here. Again, these are only plays you run with profits and nowhere near as high probability as the stuff we went through earlier in the video. And what is that high probability stuff? Again, it's always just to do with the levels. You're breaking below here. Again, we had no retest, not a super clean setup, no trade. So where does our super clean trade come in? Retest of the golden pocket, short down to the 0 line. We've done that. Great. Continue down, scalp long. That's a great setup. Retest, breakdown. Great setup. Scalp long. Great setup. And then from there, it's all a bit less clean until you come into here. And that is a great long setup. And again, if we're over on the QQQs, same sort of thing. QQQs, like I said, was the easier, cleaner play today. Retest here, short, really nice setup all the way down to here. Again, locking some profits in that 50 line, which is at the 457.38. But the main trade is hold to 455.74. And we are out here. We have these gaps to fill. Those are all getting filled. Scalp long off here. Again, break down. And again, you're seeing the QQQs being a lot cleaner. The retests are nicer. The scalps longs are nicer. So that's why we mainly focus on the Qs. Again, that's your confirmation to now push to the downside. We didn't quite make it to the fib. But again, on a move like that, it's still 2 points. You should be moving profits. Definitely locking in some profits along the way. Breaking back above the fib. We did also put in the Discord, you expect this to get a retest because we just broke straight through. No retest of the moving average. We failed the retest here. Most likely we're going to come and retest it today. Again, just shied here. So we're looking to really buy into those and kind of get our retest there, which we eventually got. Come back into the 100 line. And in this case, again, short at the golden pocket. Fine setup. Long at the retest of 100. Again, you're getting your retest confirmation on the RSI. And again, if you wanted to be a bit safer, you could have waited for the new MACD cross. But again, we already had enough confidence to say we're going up. Your target's going to kind of be that fib range high, the 459.02. And then I wouldn't get back in long. So again, this bit I would be completely out. Wouldn't be back until this candle here where you're retesting at this level, giving you kind of more reasons that we're going up because we're still holding the RSI top range. We're still holding above the 0 line on the MACD. So again, kind of reasons to continue up do still look good. And actually, since we've been reading this video, we did say we're still bullish. And what's happening? We're breaking even higher. So again, I would, and as well, you can kind of see what would be the nice target. NQs, I would definitely be out some now because that is the NQ first deviation from a 6-month chart. So lovely trades today. Super clean. Quite easy to manage. And the only other thing kind of I guess we can quickly go over is I'll throw on the option charts real quick because they provided monster moves. And again, it's all about risk management on this, and it's why I like the options, because if you're able to get in these trades, especially these options, they're down at 30, they're now up over 1000%. Again, if you're buying anywhere near these lows, you bought at $31 for example, right now they're up over 1000, nearly 1100%. Why would we have traded those? Again, same thing. So these are SPY calls. Where do we buy the SPY calls? Scalps on here. So again, if we go onto there, you can see what did the option do from there. So your scalp long was down here. So you're buying the option around $70. Even from there, they're still up a monster move up to 370. Would you have held the whole way? Probably not. You might have one run, and that's normally how I do it. You lock in profits on the scalp. You let one to run because then it's risk free. And then we have the QQQ put chart over here, which was actually really kind of the main trade. There we go. As well, when I went over the SPY, I realised I wasn't even looking at the SPY chart, but again, it still plays out nice. But if we're looking at the SPY chart, again, your scalp along there, your scalp belongs here. If we go over to the SPY chart once again, which is the one we should have been looking at, just to show you, again, would have gave us a buy signal down here, which was around $45, which, so again, if you're holding that from that reversal level, you're up 780% from that, what should have just been a scalp. But again, we always like to run one contract because these are high probability reversal levels. Not so much the 161, occasionally you'll get your reversal there, but 261 and the 400 fib, both great reversal ones, especially if you're already up decent on the day. It's never a bad idea just to run a contract or two and just let them run for the day, because they will make monster moves when it works out, which again will happen a lot of the time. Going over here again to the QQQ options. So we're looking at these. Look at the puts. We started down as cheap as $60, went up to $400. Where did we get our perfect buy opportunity? So again, we were talking about the retest, which was here. So we go over to the QQQ option chart. Where's our retest on there? So we go over. It's in this bottom range here, so roughly $85, and we'll make it even worse. We'll say we bought them at $90. And then where does that range fill? We fill roughly around here, which was over 100%. That's how you manage your risk. On the options, if you don't want to run stops on the options, you just make sure your risk to reward is at least 100%, because if so, that's a one-to-one risk to reward at a minimum. And again, that's why you don't always lock in all profits as you come into here, because again, if we're buying them at roughly $90 a contract, you hit your main profit, which is going to be at that 0 line. Then your next target will be when you come into this fib, which is again there, and you're up 200%, so a 1 to 2 risk to reward on that. Amazing. And then what happens again, your next target can kind of be pushing towards that next fib. We didn't quite hit it, but again, if so, you would have been up a monster amount again. Again, that's buying it even more expensive, but over a 300 to 400% move on that trade opportunity. So again, great setups today. Easy day trade opportunity. It's definitely a longer recap, but these news ones, this is really the same on the news days. They're probably the easiest to trade if you're new to it, just because again, you only really have to look at those two levels and you're kind of just using those as your main trading opportunity. And again, it should make the trading day quite easy. It's definitely easier than using the ranges if you don't know how to get the ranges. Again, using these news levels are definitely the easier way to trade. So again, I hope today was definitely helpful to understand. Peace.